Welcome back to another episode of Duel Alliance with myself, Alicia. We have Megan here. We're back after a holiday break. We're recording on a different day, but we're still managing and making it through, unlike some other dumbasses on this show. We're going to start this week. It's a lot of men and women's business that I just can't respect. And also just men being up under other men that I don't respect either, but we're just going to dive into all of the drama that happened this week.
We really got some male groupies. It's always a male groupie somewhere.
Heavy on the D riding. D riding is heavy on this show, but
Yes. So we come back into the episode with Jordan and Nisa after a win from last week, and he said that him and Nisa are more connected than ever following their win. And then Jay said that he knew everyone was coming for him because they're all pissed. All the big vets are pissed at him. Um, and we'll see how that goes because now Jay got himself in hot water last week with Michelle. So we'll see how they can maneuver their way out of some mess if they can or not. And Devin and Tori had a conversation, a secret partner meeting. They're doing some extra to try and go sit down somewhere in private and have a chat. And Devin asked Tori if they should still try and work with Jay and Michelle. And Tori says that it'll look shady on their part because they literally put down Anissa and Jordan, who Anissa's her bestie. Her working with them will be shady on her part. And Devin just said he wants to make a new deal with them so that they wouldn't have to put them down in the case they win one week.
essentially them having the secret powwow just shows that they're being manipulative to a lot of the teams, especially the Vacation Alliance and just a lot of other teams that are just, in the house in just a random kind of purgatory between the main alliance and then just you have everybody else. So, and this is no surprise. Like these two are the least surprising amount that this would be expected from. So it's just like snake on snake on snake. Like I don't have no expectations for these people.
I just knew it was gonna be messy. And Devin likes to get his hands dirty. Tori unintentionally. Um, but it is what it is. And then Amber and Nelson have a conversation about her having his back in the game and just having seeing where the temperature was, where they are, in their relationship in the game. And she was like, I got you no matter what. And he was like, yeah, same. But he said he wanted to maneuver around the house in the game with his relationships to make sure he is good with everybody. And I'm like, you can't please everybody, Nelson. That's not how the game works. You need to play for yourself, and he doesn't play for himself, and that's gonna come back and bite him in the ass. And then Chauncey decides he wants to start playing the game and be into the politics. He talks to Jordan, um, and he kind of possibly wants to work with Jordan eventually. Jordan said he'll do his best to look out for him, but he literally told him he's coming for his boys, i.e., Nelson and Jay, because of whatever alliance or group they got. He's coming for them. Um, and Devin and Tori were seen eavesdropping, and I hate these two. I do. I I did not. I tried to be nice and like Devin early when he first tried to see the show. I hate that man. Sorry to tell you, I do.
You don't have to be sorry to tell me. I'm not his keeper. I have no
All right,
freaking
Anissa.
ties with this white man. You don't have to tell me sorry at all. Um, I just think that Jordan and Chauncey having that conversation and what Jordan said and how that was manipulated later on is just insane. how those two can literally just be like hiding in plain sight, to be honest, just because I feel like they haven't won anything, but yet they're just in the mix of everything this whole season. And it's now being shown like they are just mixy ass people.
Yeah. And Devin was like, it's only a matter of time before the challenge volcano erupts. I'm like, that's because you are, like you said, very mixy and you can't mind your own business. So, we're going to move on to the date party. And Johnny tells Darrell that the group that Jay has going on is kind of getting stronger each and every week. And he's really trying to get Darrell to really stick on the big vet side and work with them. But he has an inkling also that Darrell is working with other people and not them.
No shit, Sherlock. I mean, Durrell has never been one to mince his words, to hide his game plan, but he doesn't talk game plan because there is no need to talk game plan to people that he's not playing the game with. Surprise, surprise. So I think that Johnny trying to be like, oh, we're, vets in this game, blah, 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 and trying to persuade him and convince him to join their side. It's just honestly bullshit at this point, because if any other time him and his partner would throw them in without any shadow of a doubt. So I just think that him trying to now get Darrell on his side, knowing that 2 weeks ago they're putting in Darrell and Veronica, it's just like it's so fake, and Darrell is just gonna see right through it, which is why I appreciate and I respect Darrell in his game and how he plays it, because he's not gonna play the game. Like, he's gonna sit there and entertain it, and he's just gonna pay it dust. Like, he'll let you talk, but he's not paying it any mind, which is like the perfect thing to do. Just let the person talk, let them say whatever, and then turn around and just be like, all right, whatever. Just gonna wipe my ass with whatever he's saying.
And that's really what he did when he talks to Veronica. They're like, we're just gonna play it cool and just do what we do. We're not gonna really pick sides. Veronica said like the only time we'll probably have to expose ourselves and pick a side is if we win or if we're in the zone and we save somebody. That's the only time that they'll have to pick who they're rolling with in the game. And I'm like, that's smart because everybody else is heavily showing their hands because we see it's how obvious at least the Vacation Alliance is in the house. And then we just see the other side just there. And Casey also talks to Fessy about having his back in the game as well. And they say it's going to come down to the amount of the cores of the groups in the house that have power, because you can have these big alliances, but the cores of the groups are going to be the ones who really frame how the game is going to go and play and how people get knocked down every week. And it shows, like, in a sense, with this episode, too, because we now have a sense of that Devin is the core of something, but he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's just looking out for himself, and then he's just getting into everyone's ear and making 1 day deals and 3 day deals. It's just foolishness.
Yeah. And Anissa can be heard across the bar telling Jay that she's allowed to be pissed. And he's doubling down on his decision from last week about putting her and Jordan in. And he was like, what Jordan does affects you in this game. And like you said earlier, that's why I called you Anissa. She's like, I'm not his keeper. Y'all can do whatever, but what y'all do is what y'all do. And it should not be a reflection of us as a duo. You have an issue, cool, keep moving. But that's not gonna help you in the long run. She was like, you literally did this for a short term period. That's not gonna help you in the long run because you now have big vets, big mad at you, and you're stuck.
Well, first of all, don't compare me to Anissa ever in life. I don't care whatever she says. She could say verbatim, bar for bar, anything I say, and Please. I mean, please. Anyway, also, I feel like Anissa is right in the short term part of it, but at the same time, you're partnered with Jordan, who yelled at him, who got in his face, who got upset with him, and they did have that argument. Now, Jay is 100% short sighted in what he did in his decision last week and how he played the game and going forward. Absolutely. But I just don't think, like, oh, my partner has nothing to do with me is absolute nonsense because your partner has everything to do with you. Like, you're with your partner. This is ride or die season. So your partner is going to be aligned with you in whatever you do, however you play the game, whatever politics y'all have, like y'all just gonna be aligned with each other either way. But Jay was definitely short sighted and his decision completely 100%. But I just feel like Anissa trying to say like what my partner does have nothing to do with me is just, girl. Then you're not playing an individual game. This is your actual partner. Like you're gonna be splitting the money at the end of this. I don't understand what you're talking about.
They always think like, oh, time's gonna change. No, if this format, nothing's gonna change. It's gonna be y'all to the end. So you gotta deal with it. You're not gonna get a new partner at the end of this. You're not. Then we go to the daily challenge, and it is called Peaking Blinders. When I saw this, I was like, have y'all been watching Peaky Blinders on Netflix?
Great show, by the way. Amazing show.
I've heard good things. I had never watched it, but I heard good things about it.
It's a good show.
Uh, yes. So I enjoyed this little pun. The puns for these challenges in nations have been fun. Like they've been funny. Some of them have. And very coincidental with how things are going in the game and without. Cause like this whole episode is called Deep Rub, and somebody later on in the episode calls themselves a spider, and I'm like, Lord Jesus. And then the elimination is going to be called Deep Rub as well. So in this challenge, the teams will race down a path to a pattern covered by blinds. Upon arrival, one team member will balance on one foot on a narrow pole to open the blinds and reveal the pattern for their partner to memorize. After the balancing team member falls off, they must go to their board and attempt to replicate the pattern and repeat the process until the whole pattern is fully done. The first team to finish will win. And off the bat, to start off the whole group, Nelson sprinted his butt past the group. He was ready on go.
Yeah, I mean, no one's ever questioned Nelson's endurance. It's just the fact that could he finish in the long run. So I'm not surprised that Nelson was in front of the pack of those people, especially because that group is not a group of runners. Like they're just not.
Yeah. And Darrell, while Nelson was being Mr. Speedy, Darrell and Veronica were waddling through this challenge. They were taking their time. But backstory, Veronica has been hurt, I think, since All Stars. And so she came into the season still hurt. And she aggravated something again. And so they're just taking their time in this challenge.
Well, I don't know why she decided to come back if she knew that she was still injured. And I think that Darrell has just been super patient with her. And I think that he's done that in the past couple of seasons with whoever he's partnered with, which is also why I appreciate Darrell and how he plays his game because even though he can get easily frustrated and, talk shit and just be upset at the partners he's with, he still works with them because he knows at the end of the day that this is the person that's going to have to help them and him get to win his money. So I appreciated Darrell taking his time with Veronica throughout this whole season that they've been on the show together because it's been interesting to see Veronica maneuver in certain challenges.
Yeah, especially that later on in the episode. The big booty was bootying, and it did not help her later on. And as like everyone's mostly getting through, trying to figure out the puzzle, Nelson said he wanted to remember less of the tiles, and Ruth was like, I want to do more because I have a good memory. and this comes in handy for them throughout this challenge. And Chauncey said he did not remember a thing, and Amber was getting mad. A lot of people were actually starting to not remember a lot of what the pattern was as they were going back and forth. And I'm like, are y'all okay? Because this is unprecedented. Where like everybody just like had a brain fart.
I don't think that people were just prepared to memorize it, honestly. And I think that the circumstances of them standing on the pole and not getting the full opportunity to see the puzzle and to see the pieces like fully through, it's hard because you're gonna run back and forth. Like people off rip, they saw the puzzle, got off, was running back, was like, damn, I already forgot. Like it's just human nature sometimes when your mind is doing like other things and you have to just focus. But I feel like for the most part, a lot of the teams got it together eventually.
Yeah, and after with like 20 minutes of time passing by, Daryl and Veronica could not get the pattern right. They both are not that great at puzzles, and like, come on. It was just like the teacher was sitting standing there like, are y'all gonna get this? And they couldn't get it. Um and then Jordan also got pissed at his partner. Per usual, it's always somebody that's gonna be mad at Anissa for not doing her very best and putting in her best effort, you know? He said, but you're playing from $1 million. You don't walk. Anissa was like, I just want to chill and be comfortable in this. I don't need to be running.
I mean, here we see why Anissa kind of falters later on because she seems equipped to be doing well when she's in eliminations, but in the long run, in the daily challenges, in the finals, and the mini finals that they have during the seasons, she just does not show her best effort. And it's at a time when it was needed the most. And I think that Jordan saying, like, oh, this is $4 million, he's absolutely right. But this is your partner. This is the person that you've been pushing up, prepping, talking all great about, and saying that she's, surprised you, which she has been surprising in this season. But you still have to know that at some point in time, she's going to do whatever she wants to do because that's just what it is. And like, this is what you got to deal with. This is your partner. The same way that she doesn't want to deal with the fact that you are making and talking about people and having all these issues, the same way you're gonna have to deal with her faults in the game.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like, it was in that moment, I figured Jordan was like, I'm not winning this with Anissa. Like, she can do well in spurts. It's just when she's like gets in her own way, she just gets in her own way. And it's like, that's detrimental to both of them. And Nelson and Reese, their communication was doing swell. And they were making good progress with the puzzle, and Devin and Tori were right behind them. Nelson was really pushing Reese to the max, and she was keeping up. Like at one point, she was really kind of almost lapping him in a bit on the run. And at one point, they just needed two more pieces to finish, and Devin and Tori also needed two more pieces as well. So it was really just a two team race to finish out the puzzle.
I mean, shout out to Nelson for being at the front of winning another challenge. I think that him and Aris were, in a mindset once they realized that they had a lead the whole time, that they could possibly win it, and they just kept going with it and kept that momentum. Which congratulations to them for doing that. But how long is that going to last in other scenarios? I'm not sure.
Yeah, and also, Jay Michelle and Fessel and Mariah were also in shambles with the puzzle, and that was just funny to me. Like, y'all were not doing great. Yeah, that was. I had to have. I paused it and was like, I had to have a moment to laugh because y'all are not okay. And then Nelson and Reese, they eventually did make it back to their station and finish the puzzle. and they are once again winners this season. Nelson's second win in one season. Wow, who would have thought? Because Devin was shook himself. He was like, Nelson really beat me in the puzzle. Huh?
I mean, he didn't really beat him in the puzzle, Nerese, because she was the one who saw the puzzle. He just was helping her to put the pieces. So, I mean, they just ran the race correctly, I should say.
Yes. Yes. And in this moment, Amber thinks that Nelson and Reese will have her back after her conversation with Nelson prior to the challenge. Hopefully, she wouldn't be in the running to go into the zone. And then Spider Nelly T makes appearance. And he said he knows his web goes all the way around, and the decision might hurt him in the long run. And Devin also said that he knows Nelson cannot make good decisions under pressure, and he can't take the emotion out of the game, which we've seen multiple times. Um, it, he's good at different things. He just isn't good at making decisions, and it has shown, and it showed this episode. And this is why he is was slowly getting the to the left because I was about to leave his stuff on the floor outside.
But I mean, I feel like you eventually did, but I I don't think that Nelson has not been the brightest crayon. He's shown that, and I don't trust him to make any decisions going forward for anything. I mean, when he won previously this season, it was honestly Olivia who had the bright idea to put certain people into the draw so that she can get one person out and they can kind of play the safe card in terms of going into the elimination. So it really wasn't him per se that made those decisions. It was other people and he was influenced by it. And the only reason why he was influenced by that decision was because he was sleeping with Olivia. So he just doesn't give me somebody who makes the smartest decisions in game play at all.
You know, like, I want to bring up the Corey thing, but I'm like, that's his friend. But because like when he went down on Nation for Corey, I'm like, sure, Corey needs the money, but Corey gets money. He got an appearance check. He's good. He didn't win. Like, like his loyalty goes only so far as well, and it's detrimental to him at times because he be playing for himself. He doesn't play for himself. He plays for other people, and that only gets him so far in the game. Um, in the conversation that Devin and Nelson had and Jay, they're spitballing teams out to Nelson about who to put in. Those they wanted Bananas and Nani in, Darrell and Veronica, Jordan and Nisa, all them in a draw. And then Devin had to say that he didn't trust Chauncey and Amber for whatever reason. And this is when I'm like, shut up, Devin. I hate this narrative that these people keep pinning on Amber since they freaking won that she's not trustworthy. Where is the tape, people? Where is the tape? That's it.
No, I feel like that's absolutely spot on because I've ever since Amber has came on the show, she won her first season. The times that she's been on, everyone has come up with some kind of story to say that Amber is not trustworthy, and we saw it even more with Nerese this episode, saying that she had a gut feeling. Girl, that's not a gut feeling. Whatever you ate was bad. I don't know if you got IBS, but stop the bullshit. Like, cut it out. It's I hate people who just I got a gut feeling about like no you don't. Just say that you were influenced by somebody who didn't like her. Like just say that and stop. Just stop with the nonsense.
Yeah, like it all had to stem from Little Amber on that season because they had it. She had an issue with her for that Ricky thing that they had. But other than that, she hadn't done nothing. Like, that was her issue. Y'all are weird. Y'all are weird. That's all we're saying this whole episode. After once Devin says that, I'm like, okay, Devin, he's been weird. I knew this. And he's delusional. He's always picking fights with women too. And that's a pattern of him. I was just like, y'all weird. But in the deliberation with Nelson Reese, he told her the dot process that him and Devin had. He really just said he was like what I was thinking, quote unquote. And Reese said that Bananas and Nani would need to be the main vote to get out the house if they were going to put them in there. And Nelson was like, I'm friendly with Nani. I don't know how that's going to go. Okay, cool. And Nelson was contemplating throwing in Amber because he didn't want to piss off everybody else who he had other connections with. And also, he didn't want to piss off Nani and Casey on a potential of putting both of them in. Okay? Like, why are you trying to play this game in your own win for other people? Like, stop. Like, it's a game. Separate the personal from the game. You can't do that.
I don't feel like anyone in this house can really do that because after watching this episode and just watching this season in general, I feel like a lot of people have been very much entitled, as we've been saying, in how they want other people to play the game and how they want other people to move. And it's just like, at the end of the day, y'all are all playing for $1 million. I don't understand why people have to look out for certain people. And it like the whole Nani and Casey thing is also weird to me because it's like y'all don't want to put them against each other. Them two was duking it out in the finals. Do y'all want to see that again and them crying and boohooing because Casey's gonna beat Nani again? I don't want to watch that. Like I just don't understand why everybody is so like they're so afraid of putting certain people in, and especially with Nani and Casey, it's like, bro, they're on the same show. At some point in time, these two hoes is gonna have to go against each other. Like, let it be known. Like, what's the problem?
Like, Nani went against Nicole, her own cousin, one season. And Nani was boohoo crying after that, but got over it because Nicole beat her. Like, we've had siblings going against each other. We have cousins going against each other. Best friends going against each other. But y'all draw the line at them two. Even partners have gone against each other. Like, I don't understand why y'all are coddling these two. I get it. Y'all want Nani to possibly get her first win. It ain't happening. It's not happening. I have to get closer to the mic. That is not happening ever. She is not getting her win. She's been on the show for how many seasons? Made it to the final how many times? Has not won a lick. So y'all need to stop trying to push her to get to a win because it's not happening. It's not gonna work in her favor. I'm sorry, it's not. And then okay, let me rein it in a little bit so we get through the rest of the deliberation. Um, but they did say that they wanted to save Duel and Veronica by pitting in Amber and Chauncey. That thought process was like, are y'all serious? How's that gonna work?
Either they thought that production was going to go along with this plan and put the dagger in front of Amber and Chauncey, or Darrell and Veronica, and make it so that one of them will have to pick one another. At the end of the day, this is still a 50-50 chance that y'all, the people who are going down there, are going to get the same dagger. We do not know. We know, but we don't know. So to me, it's just like y'all are doing this plan once again. We're trying to put people to make sure that this person can, like, the vote can cancel out one another. It doesn't make sense. And not to mention, you still have Fessel and Mariah in the house. You still got, well, you're far up Devin. He's so far up Devin's ass he can't even see out of it to get to even vote him in. But you got Devin and Tori. It's so many other people that you can just go against and make it an actual competition. That and the excuse to always put Amber and Chauncey in is, oh, they're not winning anyway, so might as well just put them in. If I am trying to win $1 million, I'm going to want the people that I know that are not winning and I can possibly beat. I want to go against those people. I'm not going to put you in. I'm going to keep you safe. You know why? Because you're not a threat to me. The only people who are threats, who are going to affect my game going long term, those are the people who I'm going to throw in. And that's just not what's been happening. And it's just really annoying to watch. And it's honestly the past 3 to 4 seasons of the challenge that we've been watching on repeat is just a different name and a few new faces. Like it's really annoying at this point.
Like, it was perfect opportunity to vote for Banana the Nani. Like, you perfect opportunity. But no. The 4 teams on the bubble to go into elimination are Veronica and Darrell, Bananas and Nani, Chauncey and Amber, and Anissa and Jordan. And Amber says she felt stupid for thinking that she had no sign as a friend because he put her down there. And Jay said that the vote has to go towards Bananas or Jordan so that this plan that Devin had would go through.
I didn't realize that Devin won. I thought Nelson won. But here we are.
That part. And this move, like, people were peeping that this was not Nelson's decision. This was solely made by Devin. And it was him and Tori's play to keep themselves out of going into the zone. Because every week they see them warning somebody, talking to them like, hey, don't put it like this, manipulating a way to not get in put in. And they're like, that's interesting. Because Bananas noticed that Devin was by himself playing pool. It was like, I'm safe, I'm cool. Y'all be easy. Hmm, that's suspicious.
Well, finally, I think everyone caught on to it. Or I don't know, finally, or they just really was like, all right, this is like so blatant to the point where now it's like, we got to say something. Because at the end of the day, with Devin not even going to see the board with the elimination and just really just playing it cool, it's like you don't want to put your game out there. You don't want people to realize that you guys are playing all sides of the fences, but you making a move like that and doing something like that that's so nonchalant, it's so small, but it speaks volumes to other people, and now you've made yourself a target. And I just don't think that he or Tori are smart enough to get out of the situation.
You know, I don't believe that either. Um, and Nani was telling Bananas that if Nelson wanted heavy hitters in this group, like you mentioned, he could have put in Fessy because that man messed him up in a hall brawl. He backstabbed him. That was reason to get a look back on him. Didn't do that. That's interesting. Like, are y'all friends or not? That's my only thing. Like, are you and
I
Nelson, you
think
and
they
Fessy
are.
friends?
I think this is what his statement was, is that they are friends, because there's no way in shape or form that you're not going to put somebody in who did that to you a couple of seasons ago, because it was a whole thing that Fessy went behind my back. We can't trust him. We can't do this. Da, ba, ba, da, 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 da. And now all of a sudden you have the opportunity to get your opportunity back to, and you don't take it. Like, I just, again, Nelson is one of those people that is so confusing and baffling, because it's just like I don't even know how you function on a daily basis sometimes. I really don't.
This is also when I'm like, I can't. I'm gonna let go and let God. Let's just start. This is this is the process of me slowly letting go of this man because the writing has been on the wall. So, we go to interrogation and Darrell with Veronica and Darrell first, and Reese said they're trying their hardest, quote unquote, not yeah, quote unquote, the hardest, to not have them go into elimination. And I forgot who said that. One of them said to them that you trust Amber and Anissa trust her. I was like, excuse me? Anissa don't like Amber?
No, I think they were talking about Veronica. I think they were
Oh,
saying
okay.
to Veronica that Darrell trusts Amber and Anissa trusts Veronica. So either or one of these teams that go in, like they're going to have to protect them in a way.
Got it. Okay.
Which
Probably said
again
that.
still doesn't. What does that even do for them? Because they're still into going into the draw. So I don't know.
And Darrell was like, stick to the motherfucking plan. Yeah, I was like, child, this is a mess. They were just, I just know. Him and Veronica were just sitting there. I'm like, okay, listening to this. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit.
Bottom line, it really was.
Yeah. And they talked to Jordan and Issa. Nelson said that he had to choose a side between Jordan and Jay after Jay was the one to put a line in the sand. And he hoped that Anissa and Jordan were saving Darrell and Veronica because of the history that Anissa has with Veronica. Um, so the play was really just to try and get Darrell and Veronica saved. That's really what it was. But it didn't work
Which the
out.
only way that would keep them safe is just to not put their names in to have them in a predicament where teams would have to save them. Like it's no need for even to put them in. You could have just chosen another team, but whatever.
I was baffled. And then we get to Amber and Chauncey. Nerese said that they hoped that Amber and Chauncey pull for Darrell and Veronica and vice versa. And Amber, rightfully so, was pissed the F off. And she said she wanted a conversation beforehand that she would know that she was going to go in. And she feels blindsided. And that's sneaky, what Nelson did. Intentionally or intentionally, that's sneaky. Because what was the actual reason for you putting her in?
I don't think
Aside from this
Nelson
dumb plan. Sorry,
I
yeah.
don't think that Nelson could even say to her that it wasn't even his plan to put her in. It was Devin's plan. And I think that ultimately when she even said that she was emotional in her speaking to them because she was so close to Nelson. Out of all of the other vets, it seemed like her and Nelson were the only two besides Darrell that she had a connection with that was somebody that she can quote unquote trust. And again, Nelson just went and put that to shit because he was just following Devin. And I think that him also saying that she's not in his top four is also very telling because it's like that's not kind of the vibe that we got earlier when you and her were discussing and having a conversation about being in the house. It seemed like she was in your top four and vice versa. And I think that between Norris saying she doesn't really trust Amber, Devin not trusting Amber, so now Nelson has to put them in. I just feel like Amber always gets the short end of the stick because people just don't like her for no reason at all. It's really insane that the invisible delusional ways that they come up to not like this girl and for her to have to defend herself and then they try to make her seem crazy for defending herself. I'm It's really just odd watching Amber like maneuver this, but shout out to her because she's been doing a great job in doing so and just like coasting through. Because honestly, I would have snapped on these people a long time ago and started flipping tables.
Same. Like, this is the moment where I'm like, I am sick of this. Y'all are, like I said earlier, y'all are weird. And it's just like, y'all are dumb. I'm just gonna say y'all are dumb. Like, I don't understand where this comes from. It has, like, it has to be delusion, and she's just there trying to win something. Are y'all mad at she who came in and won her rookie season? Is that it?
Yes. That's completely it. Because most of them hadn't even won, hadn't even gotten through a final completely up until she came in and won on her rookie season. And she did it in a way that was very quiet. She was partnered with Darrell. They were coasting through the whole good time. Then things happened. She ended up partnering with TNT and they ended up winning. And I just feel like people are very much they hate it. They don't like it. They're resentful. And Nelson has been on how many seasons and we're just celebrating him winning one daily challenge, much less him winning two in a season. So I just think that people are very much upset that she's had the opportunity to be called a challenge champ.
It's very weird. And this is where I'm like, okay, my stand card for Amber has risen. Because I'm like, Amber, get behind me. Because she needs some defending. I was like, get behind me, Amber. I'm rolling with her, okay? I'm rolling with her.
I'm weak with get behind me. Oh
Because
man.
I'm tired of these people. I really am. Like, they started picking on one person for no reason. And it had to be her who bested them. She bested Fessy. That was the same final that he quit. The same final that he quit, that she won. No wonder he's still mad at her. Because he couldn't do it on his rookie season. And then Devin came in third on his rookie season. He honestly, him and Cheyenne should have been gone. They shouldn't have came back on Rival Street. He got lucky. I'm gonna say he got lucky. Casey was just there, as always. And miraculously got a win last year. That was it. Y'all are weird. That's it. I'm gonna move on to, hold on. Sorry. Um so when Nerese had that gut feeling, I had to pause it and yo, girl, shut up. I did. I had to. I was like, I was about to, and I wrote in my notes, nurse, shut up.
Yeah,
I'm about to
again,
call her nurse. I'm sorry.
I don't have a problem with that. But honestly, like I said before, I don't know if it was a gut she ate something that had lactose in it. I don't know what gut feeling she had because listen, Norris is another case to be talked about in further study because she's been trying to get on the show for how long, and this is the nonsense that she's doing behind. I can't. Like I can't with her or Nelson this episode. I was rooting for some part of them to do well, just because they got a little color on them. But at the end of the day, at this episode, like the way that they just running behind Devin and doing what he wants to do, y'all can go. Y'all can just go.
Bring Corey back. He can run behind Corey.
Okay, I did not even go that far. Now you're taking it to another level and I didn't even didn't I'm not going for that either. Like please. Let's be serious.
What's better?
Let's slow
No,
down.
no.
Let's slow
What's
down.
better? Running behind Corey or running behind Devin?
Neither. Because that's the blind leading the blind. It is Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder. One can half see, one can't see, and this is what no, neither. I need him to find his own way. Like he's not that bright, but he can figure something out. He's won two challenges this season miraculously. Again, I say. So he has something within him, but it if he doesn't have somebody to stand with him, but like really strong that can help him, he's not going to do well. So I feel like he just needs to be by himself so that he can figure it out.
I don't think him being by himself is good either.
Well, then he just needs to be off the show. That he needs a break.
He peaked, honestly, on Invasion when CT won that season. Like, he was neck and neck with CT. I want to say that's when he peaked. Should have took another break. I think he did, but so he needed another break. Anyways, um, Bananas and Nani talked to them. And Banana said that they should not be the main vote. And Nani told Nelson that we're done. I looked at you like a brother. We're done. I would never have put you in here. We're done.
I'm done with Nani again. Like I can't with her. This whole season, every time she's opened her mouth is you've made a bad decision. You've put me in. You did this. I would have never did this. I would have never done that. Blah blah blah. And all I'm seeing is them fucking horse teachers chomping and saying nothing, bro. Like the fact that she thought like, oh, I Nelson, I would have never said your name. Nani, you've had said his name in the past. Like, let's stop the nonsense, bro. Stop it. I can't with her. And you're
Like
still not winning anything.
they won only one challenge this season. And they've been in the zone how many times? So y'all can shut up, okay? All y'all can shut up. Nani is being peak entitled this season. And I don't know where this energy came from. I don't. That's because Casey's there. Cool. Casey ain't no threat.
It's the fact that she feels like she has her girlfriend and she has the champ bananas with her, which is like, bro, he's taking a break. And I feel like she needs to as well. Like, at some point, just stop making this your career. Like, take a break, just take a seat. It's all right if you missed a couple seasons, if you don't see your face. It'll be great if we don't see you for a while. Like, please.
It was nice to not see her for a bit after Rivals, Rivals 3. Her she needs to go again. Like, I'm tired of the same thing over and over with her. Because she's not gonna win anything. She's not. I don't know how far Bonanza can take her. I don't. Uh and then they go to their nightcap party, and Chauncey and Amber notice that Nelson is still up under Devin, and they're being sticking side by side. That are you the one brothers together? And I just that's why they're so close, because they were on that season. But you, um, and they know Devin was messing around this week. It was apparent with how this happened, but the plan is not going to work of what Devin wanted. It isn't, because he is messy.
I mean, we can just continue to get into whatever happens with Devin because, yeah.
Devin and Nelson have a conversation. Um, Nelson tells Devin what Norris said about Amber, and Devin said that Amber has been talking about Devin about the house. Because fast forward back real quick. Nelson told Norris that Amber had been talking to Casey, Duel, and Devin. Norris said that Amber calls Devin the biggest snake in the house every week. And this is where when this happened, I was like, the messiest person you know is a man. Because Nelson went ahead and told Devin what Norris said. And Devin said that Amber sent Chauncey to talk to Jordan, and told Nelson that they were trying to rap together and not with him and Jay. Nelson, listening to this, hurt by it, taken aback. And he and Norris go to confront Chauncey and Amber. And this is where it goes left. Because Nelson tried to play big dog. And I'm like, sir, you heard this from Devin, of all people.
I think, just long story short, the fact that, again, Devin being the one who has been the forefront of all of this drama happening, and what Norris went and told Nelson, which went and told just like the nonsense of a train wreck that started to happen. And then once Nelson went to confront Chauncey, it's like, what did you want Chauncey to say? because the conversation that he had with Jordan essentially said, "Hey, I know that you're with this certain group of people. I'll try my best to protect you, but the other people is fuck them until it's fuck them." And Chauncey explained that in the best way that he could without trying to make any more rows and moves, but it just all stems down to Devin not liking Amber, and Maurice not liking Amber, and now Nelson falling for it and not liking Amber, and they just want to go against Amber. It's just stupid. It's it's really ridiculous.
And after the conversation, Amber was like, "No, just cross the line. I don't play about my money or about my man." And I'm like, "Period," because he was like, "I'm on go," because now I'm mad that you're trying to draw up some issue that really isn't an issue. This is why folk gotta mind their business. That's it. Mind your business. Cause it's not gonna work. Like we saw how this played out. Devin is a messy man. Stay out of women's business. Stop fighting with women. Cause that's not cool. It ain't. Like, what is it for? Like, he was doing this on his season too. So like it's a pattern of him. So, sir, stop. Um then later on the night, when they're back at the house, Devin goes talk to Michelle about Amber. And he was trying to intimidate her, to trying to push her to say that Amber told her to put Devin and Tori in. If she did, she probably was not gonna do that because she has Jay. He would have said no. She just asked Michelle, why didn't he go in? That was it. And then that got blown out of proportion as well. Because Devin was trying to be, like Banana said later, like as this is going on, little Weston Bergman Jr. He was trying to be Wes. He was doing the same thing that Wes does all the time. And it's weird.
Yeah, the gaslighting that Devin was doing and the intimidation, like I didn't like it, and I didn't like that it was a bunch of men sitting around him just listening to it happen. And and Michelle is not one of those people that I would defend or like stand behind at any certain point in time. But the fact is given is that you have this man trying to come at you for but for whatever reason, for whatever his agenda, to go after another woman. And it's like at the bottom line, you can't even stand on the fact that you have nothing to go against Amber. So you're trying to make something up. What is the beef? What is the problem? Like, I don't understand what his motive was, because at the end of the day, he's trying to get a target off his back, but that's just not the way to go about it. And him and Tori is just one of those two people that they will continuously do some dirt shit like that to keep the target off their back, not realizing that this is making it more of a target on your back the way that you're carrying on about the situation. So I just think that hopefully we see going forward the tear down of Tori and Devin, because I really can't stand to watch these two. And I came into the season, I don't fuck with Tori, but Devin, I was like, all right, he won last season. Let's see how he comes back. Devin is who he is, but the way that he just went after Michelle and the arguing and going after Amber, it's just like it just put a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't like anything about him.
And the way this happened, the plan was to put in Bananas and Nani to go in. That was his plan. That plan backfired because of this unrationed hate that he has for Amber. Like he was so caught up in trying to get the block hot off of him, and in the process, your plan is derailed because Bananas and Nani are going to still be sitting pretty. So you're not that smart, Devin. You're trying to do too much, and it's not helping you right now. You look dumb. I keep saying it this whole episode. You look dumb. You're weird. It's a lot. I'll move on now. Next day, Amber tells Michelle that everything that she seen in the game, because she know Devin was moving weird, um, and he's weaseling his way out of a mission every week. Veronica said the whole house saw it, and they're just picking. He's just trying to pick at Amber for whatever reason for this whatever. Um, and then like good thing to see that people are like seeing it. Amber's had to be the scapegoat of that situation. That's really it.
I mean, Amber's just consistently the scapegoat whenever people get into a point of a season with dealing with Amber that she's weird, or that the fact that she's still even there, people just get to a point where they don't want to mess with her, which again, it's just un it's just no reason. It's really no reason.
Yeah, and Michelle said that she knew a deal with Devin will only go so far in the game. So she'll let it expire. And Veronica wanted Amber to try and talk to Nelson and see the writing on the wall, but as you said earlier, Nelson's head is already up Devin's ass. Like, ain't no coming out from that. So, yeah. We go to the zone, and TJ notes that it's so many heavy hitters in the bubble group with Bananas and Nani, Anissa and Jordan, Veronica Durrell, and Amber and Chauncey. A lot of champs. It's a lot of champs with some stragglers. So, two stragglers, but a lot of champs and two stragglers. Um, and Nelson said that he was going through an emotional roller coaster with his decision on who to pick to go into the elimination. And he was like, I hope and pray to God that this woman forgives me. And he picks Amber. This is when I'm like, okay, here you go. This is my card. This is my phone, my card. You're done. You're done.
Yeah, I think that I don't even know what to say to at Nelson at this point for just making her the vote, because the same position that Jay and Michelle were in last week with putting in Anissa and Jordan, and how the situation just played out, I really don't understand moving off of emotion rather than moving with thought process and gameplay. What does putting Amber and Chauncey in do for you when you have Nani and Bananas down there, Anissa and Jordan, hell, even Darrell and Veronica? Like, Darrell and Veronica don't trouble anyone. They're not even, but let's just say you put them in. I just don't understand why people are so eagerly moved off emotion. But in this instant, it wasn't even him. It was Devin's decision that made that so easy for Nelson to put him in. And Norris just going along with it. Honestly, I'm over the emotional people this season. Like, yeah, at some point, y'all got to get out of your emotions and get into the mindset of playing to actually win, because these people are going to keep coming back in the house and going against them. And it's not going to be easy for them, because in the long run, you have some strong people that keep coming back in the house that is going to be easily able to get you out.
Yeah. Um, Jay was befuddled by this decision. He was like, this is not the plan. Well, Jay, you're on a battle to poll. And once somebody in that little group is set, they set. And that was it. Um, in his awful decision to pick Amber and Chauncey, he called them the weakest team. And said that Chauncey got to earn his stripes. That's the best you can do. That is such a cop out move. It really is. Like, they are not the teams that are still there. The weakest team. Hello, Casey and her futon brother are still there.
But nobody wants to touch them for some reason. I, again, I think that at this point, the storyline and just the way that these people are is just so bad to the point where we're just going to keep watching the same shit over and over and over every single week.
Yeah. And TJ asks Amber how she's feeling. She's pissed, as she should. She reiterated that she was owed a conversation from Nelson prior to liberation. Um, I wrote in my notes, Queenie's already 3-1 in nominations. So one of these shams may be going home to her. She ain't one to play with in her 4 eliminations already, you know? Um, and she was very excited to see who of the champs she would go against because it was an honor. To her, it's an honor to go against a champ. So I appreciate that about her. And I also wrote, this is where I also wrote that Nurse was ready for any of the heat that Amber was gonna come back with if she made it back into the house. And she was gonna sit by it. I'm like, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because you're gonna look stupid. You're gonna look stupid. Everybody that in the house that surrounds Amber are gonna look stupid. I'm just gonna say it. So we go to the dagger draw, and first to go up is Bananas and Nani. And this caught some flack online as well because they're like protection obviously planted dagger like in that area, like right there for them to pick. They told them to pick it or something like that. It's like rigged. Of course, they don't want Bananas to go home this early.
Surprise, surprise. I mean, we've seen this the past couple of weeks and it's been blatant. The first time we seen this dagger situation, it's like, oh, this is new. This is going to give people an opportunity to not have to be able to have a right to, say that they can hide behind certain things or whatever. But it's always somebody pulling the strings. Always.
Yeah. And so they pulled the safe dagger, end up saving Anissa and Jordan. And with this, Darrell also knew that the only person that he can trust is Amber. How is it that the only person that these two trust is one another and everybody else is being weird? How is that? Two people that have sane minds.
I mean, it's not surprising because look at who we're dealing with.
Yes. Um, and Amber said that this was a nightmare for her because Darrell was literally her mentor on her rookie season. Like you said earlier, they were coasting throughout that season together. And he helped her, taught her the ropes, got her, and was a big part, honestly, of her getting that win. Um, and this is going to be hard for her, also emotionally, because she doesn't want to see him go because that's her only ally in the game. Everybody else don't like her, so she has got her and Chelsea's got to fend these waters themselves in the event that they beat them. And so, right before this too, before they started the game, Veronica said that Nelson played a dumb hand, and Darrell was like, "It's gonna bite him, come back and bite him in the butt." It is. And it'll be funny when that happens, because when you wrong Amber, and then by proxy Darrell, you're done. In the words of Nani, we're done. So. I'm sorry. Um, the name of the game is called Deep Web, and the partners will begin standing on top of a roof of a giant tower. We'll have to climb down the netting to get to the 8 puzzle pieces that are on the ground. Once all pieces are acquired, they will begin solving the puzzle. The first team to solve it will win. And both teams are doing really well. As such, at one point, Amber was just sliding through the roping. Um, then Veronica was struggling, not gonna lie, because that injury. Um, but she was doing her very best. She was sticking through it.
Yeah, I mean, I was honestly, when I saw her at the bottom and the way that she was struggling to get up, I'm like, this is not the time for her to not have any upper body strength and not be going, having the ability to move, because Amber and Chauncey are going to be flying through this. So at least they had a fighting chance. And I'm glad that Veronica didn't quit. I'm glad that she was able to find her way through that, because when I first saw it, I was like, damn, this is not going to end up good. But ultimately, she was able to find something to help her, and they had a fighting chance. I will say that.
Yeah, and 'cause at one point I was like, Amber. They were getting at one point they were like one piece ahead of Veronica and Darrell, then two, then three. Like they were speeding through it. But Darrell, like the equalizer is the puzzle. So it doesn't matter how like quick or whatever you get through this, that puzzle was an equalizer. And that puzzle kicked both of their asses. Like they could not get it together.
I don't think either one of them have puzzles as their strong suit. So it's not surprising that the both of them were struggling with those puzzles.
Yeah, it took them up I don't think it was up to an hour. It wasn't. It just probably took an extra 10, 15 minutes, for them to try and figure it out. They both were stuck on like the last few pieces. Um, and Amber and Chauncey, they figured it out with the last piece that Chauncey got. Um, Darrell and Veronica, they were just two pieces, I think, away from really completing it. But in the end, Chauncey and Amber win and defeat Darrell and Veronica.
And here we have the end of Duel and Veronica. Hope to see Darrell back at some point in time, but I just wish that he gets a better partner next time. I'm sorry, Veronica, love you, girl, but until you get your shit together, do not come back. Um, as for Amber and Chauncey, I think that them getting an elimination win under their belt is going to help them going back into the house, because they haven't been performing well in the daily challenges. So this gives them a little bit of a boost, and also kind of shows the people in the house like, hey, these people are just not here just sitting down and not doing anything, not winning anything. Like, they have the opportunity to win something. And thought it was a sweet moment at the end when Chauncey and Darrell had a moment where Chauncey basically was like, you helped Amber get through her first challenge, and now she's helping me get through mine. And just the passing of the baton of how that all moved, and the effect of Darrell, for somebody who's been on this game for so long, having on those people. I thought that was really nice of Chauncey to say that to him. But at the end of the day, going back into this house, I think that Amber and Chauncey have to play this game very, very smart, because one wrong move and they'll easily be back in, or worse, going home. So I think that just going forward, the both of them have to play this smart.
Yes. Um, I was tearing up during the moment with Amber and Darrell because I'm like, I didn't want this to end so quick, and I have a soft spot for Amber because she deserves anything good going to her, and Darrell is a great person to have in your corner. Like that partnership, that's the ride or die. If Darrell comes back, they be partners again, and they can roll out together. I love them too. And then I will say it was funny that Jordan said that Nelson and Reese's commander is an idiot. So
Yeah.
because somebody else should have been in there. Somebody else should have been gone. If the I feel like with the rate of how if that was Bananas and Nani in there, if they hadn't picked that dagger, Amber and Chauncey would have beat them too.
I think Johnny would have probably got the puzzle a little bit quicker, but nonetheless, I think that Amber and Chauncey coming back again, like I said, they just have to play this smart going forward, and we'll see what happens with this Vacation Alliance and this other alliances. They're just I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Those stragglers don't have a clear leader, and if that their leader is Jay, Dawson prayers. That's it.
Anyway,
We're going to get into the tweets from the episode. Um, there are a couple that I enjoyed, so we're going to get into them. First one, in 3 seasons, no one has yet to prove that Amber has done anything to anyone. We've spoken on this earlier. Facts. Because there is no tape with evidence of her doing anything. Like I mentioned, all episode, y'all are weird. That's case closed. The next tweet, people used to ask why we preferred old school to new school. Answer me this. Why would I prefer new school when we get players that play like Nelson and Jay? Make that make sense, please.
right.
Because it's the blind leading the blind right now. Like, it really is. Like, there's no clear head honcho, no one with actual sense. Like, everyone peaks at a certain point and then falters in other areas. So y'all are not that great. And like you said, we keep getting the same thing every season, like because they are playing friendly, and that's not gonna help them in the end. It's not. And someone said, Norris, you're a pretty girl. Why you couldn't get with Amber and be a pretty bitch clique? Why you gotta be a hater? Y'all could have ate.
I mean, okay, but I who people who even think like that too, like just because people are pretty, they gotta click up. Don't even that shit don't even no.
Yeah. It was just funny because like they was getting licks in on it in Norris this episode too, so I had to
I mean, she
say that
deservedly
one.
so. It's not coming from a place of she didn't deserve it. She absolutely did deserve it.
Yeah. Uh, the last tweet, Nani and Casey annoying AF. It's a challenge, not Hunger Games. Y'all can see each other after the season ends if you get eliminated. And that's
Right.
it.
Like I said earlier, I don't know why people are so afraid of Casey and Nani going against each other because at the end of the day, they both cannot win. So they're gonna have to go against each other at some point in the game. Much less be it now sooner than later so we can just get over it. But nonetheless, this is what we have to deal with in watching this show. I feel like we were on such a good track with the rookies going at the vets early on in the season, and now we're here at the point where it's just more or less the vets who have been here are just taking over and running the same old tired ass game that they've been running for the past couple of seasons. It's really irritating to watch at times, but we'll be back next week to discuss it more. There's nothing more I can say. Thank you guys for listening. You can follow our Twitter page. Twitter is still alive. It's at Zoodle Alliance Pod. You can follow our personal pages. Megan's page is at Megan Hines. My page is at ace_s5. You can follow our YouTube page where you can watch us talk about this as well if you want to at Zoodle Alliance Podcast. And again, we'll be back next week to discuss more of The Ride or Die, Season 38. Thank you for listening. Have a good week. Goodbye.
Bye.